Hey, welcome back. So in our last video, we are initialize our React and server side. So on our front end, we use React.js, and for backend, we're going to use as database PostgreSQL. Because in my YouTube channel, I already make a playlist where I use MySQL. So this time I thought that I can use PostgreSQL, but as ORM, I still going to use Prisma. Well, so in this video, I'm going to do some specific tasks. First, I will tell that tasks. If you can do that, then you can skip the video. And if you don't know how to do that and you want to learn, then you can continue. And if you want the code as also, you can just check out the description box. So first of all, we're going to set up the React Redux. Second, we are going to use PostgreSQL. Third, we are going to know how to install that PostgreSQL in your local machine. And third, we're going to check is our uh, install PostgreSQL is working. And last one, we are going to use .env variable for server side. Like we will store the port in .env or environment variable, and we are going to do some other important stuff in .env variable. So that is the 5 tasks that we are going to do in this video. If you already know how to do that, you can simply skip the video, and if you don't know or if you want to learn how to do that, you can continue the video. And yeah, I wish you guys subscribe my YouTube channel, and if you like the content, you can also like that video. And I expect if you watch that full video, I expect you will comment how you feel about this tutorial. So let's start. First of all, we are going to install React Redux toolkit on our client side or React.js. Okay. So for installing that, we are first of all go on the Chrome browser and we are go to the React Redux official website. Okay, React Redux toolkit. Now you can see there have Redux toolkit.js.organization. We can simply go here and they have the git start, and if I scroll down you can see they have some command or install packages, this kind of something. I just go on the quick start, and here you can see they have two specific packages. One is React Redux /toolkit and another one is React Redux. We just need to copy that command and we will go on the client side, then we run that command which is install that two packages. Once that's successfully installed, then we have to create a store.js. So store.js is something like iStore, where you will list your product, this kind of something. I will explain that more accurately in later on. So for now, you can remember that store is a store, nothing more. So if I go back and you can see the package is successfully installed, so we can simply click here and we can create here some file like API, and here we will create a store. So for creating the store, we can simply create a file which is store.tsx. Okay, now here we're going to make a variable which is store is equal configure store, and here I just make something like they have some reducer. We can pass here reducer and nothing more. Yeah, nothing more. And we are not going to use anything like slice, so we don't need that type. So in later on, if we use something like slice, then we can use that type. So now for now, I can simply export that, export default store. Okay, now here I create another thing which is base API. Okay, that is not a file and that is not a folder, that is a file. So that should be base API dot tsx, and here we create something like constant base API is equal create API from React Redux toolkit query React, this kind of something, and here we have to pass the reducer path which is something like an API, then base query, and yeah, I don't think I make any mistake. Yeah, base query, and here we have to pass the base URL, which is currently this kind of something a string, and last we have to pass something like an endpoint, which is currently nothing, this kind of something. So now we have to export that base API. So export default base API. Okay, so now what I have to do, I have to use that base API on that store. That means that base API is a product and we have to store that on list store. This kind of something. So now here first of all we have to call here base API. So I am initialize here key, and for key we have to use the array symbol. Now here we have to use the reducer path and also base API dot reducer. Okay, now I think that is makes sense, and if we go here you can see something like this. Okay, now we are successfully initialized that. So let me now do the PostgreSQL work. Then after making that perfectly, then we can test it the API on this Redux toolkit. However, so now let's move on the PostgreSQL. So first of all, you have to install the PostgreSQL in your local machine. So if I search on my terminal PostgreSQL, so you can find out this kind of something. They have some document on this kind of something. There is a file actually. So what I have to do, I just have to go on the PostgreSQL download. So if we go here, you can see something like PostgreSQL.organization, and you just need to go on the download pages. So now, once you go here, you just need to select the window installer, and if you want to know more, you just need to search on YouTube, because in my computer or machine already have that PostgreSQL installed, so I am not needed to install that one more time. Now if you not interested to install that PostgreSQL, then how you work, then you have to deal with the online PostgreSQL, something like Neon. So Neon, okay, I am not interested to show my account. I can just visit the website. Okay, so Neon is a serverless PostgreSQL. So where you don't need to, you have to buy a subscription, and they have a free plan. So in your development purpose, you can simply use that for free. And later on this series, I will deploy my server is also on Neon. Then you can use that. Yeah. So if you don't not interested to install that PostgreSQL in your local machine, you can simply create a new one account and use it here. Okay, so now we are discuss about the PostgreSQL. Now we can move on the Prisma ORM. So Prisma is a method where we can use that PostgreSQL directly in our React in our Express project. So basically, uh, PostgreSQL is a database, so we have to connect with that database. So maybe MongoDB have something like a package, dedicated package, but PostgreSQL is a database that offered by the hosting provider, and also they have some third-party provider like Neon. Those are offered serverless Postgres database, and you can choose whatever you want, and you can also sync the database with Prisma SQL. And Prisma SQL also offer some other, okay, that is loading, that also offer MySQL, MongoDB. So you just need to use that, and you can, when you want, you can change your database. Like you can switch from MySQL to PostgreSQL. Like, and now if you are telling me like, buddy, show me how can I switch my database from PostgreSQL to MySQL, then I can make a video, a dedicated video about it, and I can show you that. And if you are also interested to switch to the MongoDB, I can also show that how can you switch to the MongoDB. Okay, so first of all, I just click here, create your first database, this kind of something, and once I click that, also offer me a serverless database, which is I'm not interested. So I just go on the documentation, and yeah, and they have a lot of things. Mixes, okay. So okay, use Prisma Postgres being your one database. So I have my one database. So what I want to set up, I want to set up with MySQL. Okay, I just select MySQL from here, and yeah, that is the PostgreSQL. So the PostgreSQL is logo is not loaded properly. That's why I select MySQL. However, we can simply go here and we can change the database from this select. And you can see the PostgreSQL is here. Now, if I scroll down, there have uh, some CLI packages, and we have to install it. If I click here, you can see all database like MySQL, PostgreSQL, SQL Server, PlanetSQL, Cockroach DB. Everything is here. Now, they have some prerequisites for using that. Like, first of all, you have to install the Node.js in your local machine, and you need a package.json. Then you can see some other requirement. So you can read the documentation. I already know about it. So now, first of all, I have to install that Prisma packages by using that CLI. So I just go here, and first of all, I have to go on the server cd server. Now I type that packages, and you can see once that is completed, according to that documentation, I am successfully installed the packages. So you can see that is loading. So that may take 1 or 2 minutes, depending on your internet connection. You have to wait, and I am going to pause the video until that perfectly installed. So I just see that that is perfectly installed, and now I have to move forward. Now they have another CLI. You can see like this npx. You can now invoke the Prisma CLI by prefix. Okay, so you can just check it out. Is it installed perfectly or not? You can see the all command that are offered by Prisma. Now, I have to do something like next set up your Prisma ORM project by creating your Prisma schema file with the following command. So basically, that command will generate a schema file and also make something like a create a dummy database connection, this kind of something. So that is fetching latest update for this sub command. I have to wait a bit. You also have to wait a bit, and I think you need a little bit patient. Uh, you need to little bit patient, and if you are not interested to hold like me, then you can simply check out the description and download the code and move forward. Okay, now you can see here the Prisma schema is generated. Now, if I go on the Prisma schema, you can see there have some comment. I just simply delete them, and you can see here provider output and provider also like PostgreSQL, that is the database, and they have something like on the environment. If I check it out, you can see they have a dummy connection. So what I have to do currently in my machine have PostgreSQL. So if you don't believe that, I can show you PostgreSQL version. Maybe that is V or version or PSQL V PostgreSQL. I forget the command. Forgive me. I really forget the command. How to see the version. Okay. However, so I have that for show you that is my device have the database or not. So I can simply call here something like root, that is the user default user for my local machine, and password is also root, and that is localhost. Port is also okay, and the database should be key, which is my project name key. So now I can simply go on the schema and make something. If I go here like connect to your database, you can see I'm connected. Okay, I changed my information, like you can see username, password, host, port, database, a lot of stuff. So what can I do? I need something like a dummy schema. Did you have did you have the dummy schema? What is that? My man, I need a dummy schema, you know that? Okay, they are not having any dummy schema. So for the testing, we can make something like a model which is a user where have the ID which is an integer, and we can make something like a ID which is auto generated, or okay, which is what, okay, default is auto increment, is it not? Maybe I did a mistake. Yeah, now this time that is working. So now the next thing I have to do, I have to make something like a name which is the string. Okay, so now I have to use the database. So if I go here on the src, there I have to call that Prisma. So I make something like a Prisma. Okay, Prisma, and here I have to call new Prisma client. Okay, Prisma. What is that? Prisma. Okay, I really forgot something. So I have to type here a command npx Prisma db push. So I made a changes on that schema, right? So that will ensure that changes is sync with the database. So here you can see authentication failed against database server. The provided database credential for root is not valid. So if I go here, and maybe I did a mistake. Prisma is not here, the database, yeah. Maybe this one. I'm really forget about it. What should be the password? Or what was the password? So maybe, okay, PostgreSQL. Hmm, so what was the password? I really forget. Well, so I just found my password, and yeah, I did a little bit research on it. And when you install the PostgreSQL, you found this kind of something like a pgadmin. So you can see they are not have anything, which name is key, and I got my password via this extension, which is something like PostgreSQL database. So here you can say the username is Postgres, and password is 1234, and also the port is here. So I just close this one, and here I change it. That actually that root is the uh, password or username for my MySQL. So I am not work with the PostgreSQL since like 4 or 5 months. So that's why I forget about it. However, so I make the changes. So now if I type here something like npx prisma db push, so I think that should be work. Yeah, that is generating. So I have to wait a little bit. uh Maybe that generated successful. If I go here and refresh, nothing happened. Okay, well then I have to give a little bit time, or maybe I can push that. Well, so you can see here the Prisma is generated. So if I just go here and refresh it, so I just try to refresh it. I don't know is it working or not. If I go here, yeah, they have the refresh, and you can see they have something like a key, and yeah, they have a schema. If I go here, you can see they have something like a public, they have a table, and inside the table they have the user. So if I go on the column, then you can see ID and name. So that means our database is sync with the PostgreSQL. So now I have to call that Prisma client. So you can see this time they have the something like Prisma client. So now I just call here, and I want when the database is called, I will create a new something like a new data or new table, this kind of something, or new row or new column, this kind of something. So Prisma dot user dot create. Now here I just call the data, and then they have the name is Siam Sheikh. So we are made something, now we have to call that, right? So now we have to call that from our client. Okay, so I just run that. So before before going to run, we have to build that, right? So I just call here tsc, that will convert my TypeScript project to a just JavaScript project. Later on we can make some, will use something where that will be automatically built behind the scene, and we can see the output without build the project. So now I just go on the cd dist and then node index. Now you can see server is listing. So now what I have to do, I just need to go here, and they have the base API. So now I have to write here the path http, then local, maybe I have to copy that, localhost, and that is 3000, this kind of something. So now you can see I write the base URL. So now the next thing we have to use that. So for using that, we can make something like, we can call something like an argument, and here we make something like check. Okay, we will write something here which is check, and inside the check I just call arg argument, then that it was a get request, so I have to call the query, and I have to type here something like the method. Yeah, they have another query, and that offer me a argument. Is I'm doing any wrong? Maybe I did anything which is mistake. That's why that was not working properly. So I have to check it what I did mistake. So I can go here. They have the RTK. Now if I scroll down, you can see they have the builder, which is quite similar, and I am not sure what I did a mistake, where I did that mistake. So I can call here argument or builder, anything, any name. So there is check, then here I have to write the path or this kind of something. Okay, that is check, this one, then the argument or the builder argument dot query. Now here I have to pass something like the path or query. So if I want, I can make something like this kind of something. Okay, so I think that should be called successfully. Now I can call that base API from app.tsx. So here I just make a call which is something like this. Okay, then I call here base API dot use check query. Now here I have to pass the argument. I just pass undefined. So now I have to run that React project. So I just go back, and then cd client, then npm run dev. So now I have to visit that website. So first of all, I open my div tool, then I visit on the local host 5173, and there have a network. Okay, so there have some issue like a error. So the first error, I have to wrap the provider. So for wrapping, I just go on the main, and here I have to call the provider, which is come from React Redux. Okay, so now I have to copy and paste here this one, and also I have to pass here a store, which is come from the store. Okay, so now if I refresh one more time, you can see warning middleware for RTK API reducer path API has not been set to the store. You must add the middleware for RTK to function correctly. Okay, API has not been added on the store. Okay, so I have to go on the store, and here I can simply type something like API. Basically, that should be work, but I don't know why that is not working. Now, okay, that is working, but the middleware is not here. So they have something like a middleware, and I get something like a get default. So here I made a changes on middleware. Like first of all, I call that middleware field, then I get an argument which is get default middleware, and then I call that was a function, and I concat base API of middleware. Now this time that is fixed, and there one more error comes, which is the course issue. So for fixing that, I have to go on the index.tsx, and here I have to install a packages, which is okay. I just need to go back one step, cd, then cd course. Okay, not cd course, that is npm install course. So now that is installing, so I have to import the course here. So there is the course from course. So I also have to install the type for this course. So I just install that here. So now I have to use that app.use. Now they have the course, this kind of something. They have a origin, which is all. So I just allow all origin. So now I have to go cd dist one more time, then uh run that index. Okay, so now if I refresh now, this time that should be work, but I don't know, I'm not sure why that is not working, because the issue was I am not build the server. So I have to build the server, then I have to restart the server. So now if I refresh this time, you can see this time that they not have any error. So here a data just created for checking is the data is created successfully or not. So I can type here npx prisma studio, so that show me the data. So you can see I am retrieve on the Google, and if I go here, reset user, you can see they are not have any user which is created. I don't know why. So I have to pass any ID, and if I refresh this time, hello world, I don't know why that is not created. Okay, I have to wait. If I refresh one more time and refresh here, what was the issue? So I can use here try catch for understanding the issue. I can copy that code and to console log the error. So I just simply want to do a console log. Now if I refresh, okay, I made a changes, but I am not built that. So I have to build that one more time. You can see there have too much hassle. So we will get out from that hassle when we use the live server. Okay. So you can see, you can tell that there was a manual server. Okay, now this time that is working. You can see the data here, and the data is stored on the database. So that was our mission in this video, and we are successful. When I start recording, I am not thought that that video should go on something like 30 minute, but that is currently 30 minute recorded, and I know I am not going to cut any scene. So yeah, sorry for your time. I think you learned a lot of things, and if you learned really, you can subscribe that channel. And if you're interested to build your mini app from me, you can contact me on my Telegram or any other social media. The contact information is in this video description. Check it out.